When I was a boy, I was 5 years old on this particular event, and I had a beautiful lady that taught my card class, looked a lot like Marisha, coal black hair, beautiful woman. And she said, Jerry, you've got to hurry up and grow up, and we'll do mission work together in Africa. Well, I hurried as fast as I could go, and whenever I got to be marriage age, she was in her 30s and already married someone. But I did go back. That was my very first place. But I wanted to go ahead and obey the Lord's command to do mission work. When you look at this, I'm going to put my glasses on, you're going to see, first of all, there is a command. This is not something that's just absolutely optional. You do it if you want to. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Can y'all hear me? Okay. It is a command, as I'm going to show. And also the work involves planting the church. The Apostle Paul was a great church planter. The children. My wife and I never thought we'd have children, so we adopted a set of twins. That's always containers. Let me just get into it. First of all, the command. Jesus said, go into all the world, preach the gospel to every creature. I'm not going into all the world, but I've made a pretty good start on it. I've been to 57 different countries. The first one was in Ghana, in West Africa, Nigeria. Then I went back to South Africa and did work. But there's hardly a place that you might think of to name that I've not been sharing the gospel. Then you might say, well, Brother Morgan, why the Ukraine? Out of all 57 countries, why in the world would you pick this portion of what used to be Russia, that's the breadbasket of the Russian world? The answer to that is very, very simple. It's because, it'll take me a second before I get confident with this. It's because of its similarity to ancient Jerusalem. Whenever Peter stood up on the day of Pentecost and preached, 3,000 precious souls were saved. When we first went into the Ukraine in 1994, that's 25 years ago, when we first went in there, we were in what was called Donbass. And if you'll listen, you'll hear Donbass, that's the state of Donetsk. And you'll hear that on the news very much because this is where the war between Russia and the Ukraine is centered. And I'll explain why. But we went in there in 1994 and baptized 1,500. It was a half of a Pentecost. In addition to that, Paul had 20-something congregations he established. We established 10 in that initial work. But anytime you do a great work for the Lord, expect the devil to come. And when you look at the mountain of Ukraine, which is coming up, you're going to see down below in gray is the state of Crimea. And you've heard much about Crimea because they did have a legal election and they did legally go ahead and vote to be part of Russia. Basically, the Russians never left Crimea because of submarine bases, naval bases. It was there. They had to have its warm water port. And if you look at all of that beneath it, it is a warm water port. Now, if you look at this next one, next one, and I'm going to move over here where I can see when I am getting it there. Crimea, then, and then you look at this area here, I'm going to walk up and just kind of point to it. All of this on the right-hand side, see that white area to the right, marked off with the black line? That's Russia. How big is Russia? I can fly from New York to Moscow. And it's a pretty good journey. But or I can go ahead and get a plane and fly from Moscow to the other side. It's a longer journey than it is from New York to Moscow. It's a longer journey from Moscow to the other side. So it's a huge, 11 time zones wide. Don and I, when we were in, up here on the upper right, I don't expect you to be able to read that, but it says Donetsk. We lived in Russia in that little white portion. Now, what was the problem with Crimea and Russia? Why did they feel that they had to do something? If you look in here where the white portion of Russia comes to Crimea, there's no land connection. It's a water crosses there. Russia said, I've got to have a land connection. So what I'll do, I'll just go in, and they went in through Donetsk. I told you we established 10 congregations there. We established a preacher training school, and I helped get it started. But one of the things that they did was they went in with machine guns and put them to the teacher's belly and said, out. They said, what do you mean out? They said, you'll be dead 30 minutes if you're not out of here. They did it. And we've relocated our work over on the yellow side, as far away from the Russian approach as we possibly can be. Now, when you look at the next slide, it's more of a, he's got a magic touch, I know. I'm hitting this and it's not working to my satisfaction. What am I doing wrong? Okay, it's the story of David and Goliath. If you want to think about it, and I'll ask the question in a minute, who do you think will win in the end between Russia and the Ukraine? Believe it or not, Nikolai and myself passed by those towns, surface-to-air missiles, the day before they shot down that Malaysian airline. We went by in a car, and Nikolai says, there's a Russian setting up. And Nikolai was a former general in the Ukrainian army. And so he knows about things that are going to happen.
Softly, Jerry.
What now?
Softly. Touch it softly.
My wife says he knows nothing about softly. That is worse than good. Okay, so when they let those missiles go, there was nothing then that the people could do. Who'll win the war? When you look up there, you see then that Russia has 10-1, basically. Anything that the Ukraine has, when it comes to soldiers, not quite. They have 845,000, and Ukraine has 100,000. 63 submarines, Ukraine has 1. 15,000 tanks, 4,000 for that. 10-1 on helicopters, nearly 10-1 on warplanes. Who's going to win? You'll have to ask God. It's totally in His hands. Now you might say, Brother Morgan, do you want the U.S. to go over there and fight? No, I don't. Let's leave that to God. Now, this picture that I've got there is, I'm sorry it's not a clear picture, but it's a picture, typical picture of people fleeing for their lives. And the next picture there is a common picture. Here's a lady going ahead and covering up some of the dead that are on the street. And you might say, well, what was she doing on the street? I'll explain that, and if you can see that, that's one of our orphanages. That's not a child, that's somebody's doll that they put there so they could get. This is a student going back in to a classroom that had been blown away. If you are in a Russian-Ukrainian orphanage, you're going to turn this lights off for me. It'll make it a lot better. If you're in a Russian-Ukrainian orphanage, what you're going to discover is they do everything within that little compound. On the first floor, they will go ahead and, thank you. On the first floor, they'll go ahead and go to their classes. They will eat at the cafeteria. They'll do some exercise on the second floor. Then they will go ahead, on the second floor, they will go ahead and stay there. When Don and I lived in Russia in 1995, 1996, we stayed in a flat very similar to this. Ours was hard. But that's just a typical picture of how the Ukrainians live. And here's a typical picture of what's happening. The children, they suffer. You're going to discover when I go through this that there is this gap. Russia has an older class of people. They have a younger class of people. They don't have a middle age group. They've all been dead. Donna was once talking with a friend of hers over there and says, have you not contemplated marriage? She said, why would I marry someone? She said, because all the men, if they were good and honorable men, would have died in the war. The only ones that didn't die in the war were the ones in that were cowards. That was her attitude. Some people ask me, why does this lady go for bread? She's hungry. She's hungry. Donna and I would never go for bread, but what we would buy bread for somebody else because it was just a common situation. Let me give you some numbers about what happened to the people. When I first went in there, I would give $1 and I'd get a Russian ruble. It reached a point I could take that same dollar and get 180,000 of their dollars. You can imagine somebody on fixed income. When I first went in there, if you were an airlines pilot, you made the equivalent of 25 US dollars. If you were a doctor, you made the equivalent of 25 US. And if you were a nurse, registered nurse, you would get about $7.50. So pensioner got about $5 a month of our money. And, okay, we talked about the command. Now let's talk about the church. One of the first things that we try to do, obviously, we always try to plant churches. And you say, well, boy, you planted and built a good, I didn't build that. That's not a church of Christ. Here's what I did build, is what's coming up next. It looks more like a barn, but it worked. Now, I wish I could tell you that everybody was happy and satisfied with that, but they were not. And so we had somebody come in from Florida with more money than they had sense and said, let's start building something more like the Russian Orthodox, Ukrainian Orthodox. So there's my little building off to the side. It's going to be a two-story building there in the middle with classrooms and such. And then there'll be an auditorium there on the end. One of the men that was in that school was Volodya. And Volodya was one of those, they stuck a machine gun to his stomach and said, out. And so the Volodya left, and I hired him to come to an area called Ivano-Frankovsk. And he does a wonderful work there. In addition to the command, in addition to the church, the children. You're going to see that this is primarily where my focus is now, on the children. It's one way to practice pure religion. Pure religion undefiled before God and the Father. Visit the fatherless. Try to help little girls who did not know yesterday that she would be an orphan today. This next picture is typical. This is a little girl then that lived with her babushka, her grandmother. One time I was in Russia this time, and I was teaching. And a woman about like the one lying dead on the street came walking up, and she said, "Pomegate, pomegate, pomegate, help me, help me, help me." And so I said, reach my pocket, see how much money. She said, I don't want your money, I just need help. I said, well, what has happened? She said, my little girl, it's wintertime, was walking across the river to get us a loaf of bread. And she got on the dark ice instead of the thick ice, and she fell through. And she said, if you'll come go with me, you can see her body under the ice, but nobody will help her. They said, wait until spring, wait until spring. There's little, you're going to see this as we go through there, there is very little sanctity of human life there. Now, listen to this. Even though I work with the orphanages, not Russia, but the Ukraine has many, many orphanages. You're going to see then that it's a death sentence to be sent to one. It's a death sentence to be sent to one. You say, Brother Morgan, how could that be? Are they murderers in there? No. But let me give you some statistics again. When a child is sent to a Ukrainian orphanage, 1 out of every 10 will commit suicide. I'm talking about children, they'll commit suicide. 1 out of every 10 will run away and either die or be killed in this process. There's another issue that is there, and that's this one. The issue, if I didn't have anything else to say but that, in Eastern Europe, which consists of the Ukraine, Belarus, all the other countries of the former Soviet Union, less than half of the orphan population will live to be 20. It's a death sentence to go to the Russian orphanage. And part of that problem is this one, AIDS. In Europe, they have the highest rate of AIDS. I mean, human trafficking is so common. Now let's go to something a little brighter. They divide the orphans up into baby orphanages. In other words, if you were sent there as a baby, you would stay at a baby orphanage while you were 0 years old, 1 year old, 2 years old. But once you get to be 3, you're going to be moved out. This is a fearful sight for me, a baby carriage. We have more orphans in the Ukraine than in China has. You say, well, what about China? I use so much. They kill their extra. In the Ukraine, they just walk off and leave them. They abandon them, or they'll bring them to the orphanage and leave them with us. And here's a child, the child that belonged to that parish, that's the child, all wrapped up in their swaddling cloth. Very, very typical picture. If a child is sick, they give it away. If a child is dying, they give it away. I live close to Harrisville, Arkansas, where we have a Church of Christ orphanage. And periodically they'll say, "Brother Morgan, help us." We've actually got 2 children having to live in 1 bedroom at our cottage. 2 children sleeping. I said, well, if you would go to the Ukraine, you could reach out and touch 10 people from where you are sleeping. So it might be a little greater problem there. We have to have a guard. Some of those children that come to the orphanages have been murders. Some of the children there. Now, this is a brighter picture. You say, "Well, Morgan, it looks pretty good." Yes, we've sent them help. What do the people look like in the Ukraine? Like y'all. There's somebody over there just like y'all at these orphanages. Now, if a child is born with some sort of birth defect, like the next slide, you're going to see, and maybe I'll get it up, maybe I'm not, I don't know. I'm trying my best to be soft and trying to do this. I may have to get somebody just get this. I'm going to move on. That didn't want to come up. We're constantly sending goods over, and I'll explain how they get there. Now, when you leave there to the orphanage, a baby orphanage, you go to a preschool orphanage, and you'll stay there while you're 4 or 5, and when you turn 6, you're going to be moved up. This is some of the children that are there. I think that little girl might have been displaced. The people are so abusive. The men basically are alcoholic. Now, when you see there, you see children that are these are the grandchildren of Chernobyl. I've been by Chernobyl and I've taken pictures of it back when we used film, and there's still enough nuclear radiation in the air to make my film pop up with stars. Back in 1991, I went there and I got covered with nuclear radiation when I was in Utah. Again, one of the consequences of Chernobyl. And it continues on. From one generation to the other. I just want you to see pictures of the kids. There they're saying, "Where's the beef?" Well, the Russian government, the Ukrainian government gives 17 cents a day per child. And potatoes cost the same there as they do here. Well, this girl did not know she was going to go to the orphanage next. These children have to make a decision that I'm fixing to explain. Where shall I go when I leave this orphanage? When they bring children in, the first thing they do is burn their clothes, shave their heads. Don and I carried the first baby children's wheelchairs into the Ukraine they'd ever seen. Now, Germany had them, but not the Ukraine. These are typical kids that need them, typical kids that have to have them. Surgery, very difficult. In the Ukraine, almost non-existent. Now, I told you then that half of the kids, that whenever they come to the orphanage, half of them are going to die. The typical orphanage, okay, let me give you some numbers. The typical orphanage has 200 kids. There are 500 orphanages in the entire country of Ukraine. That's 100,000 orphans. Population is 45 million. That means if you were there, 1 out of every 450 people in the whole country lives in an orphanage. And half of them will die. Half of them will die. So that, but it might be worse to survive. Why? What about that 50%? What happens to them? 60% of the girls, when they leave the Russian, Ukrainian orphanages, go into full-time prostitution. 70% of the boys, 7 out of every 10, go work for the mafia. The girls will die in 18 months. They'll be beaten to death or die of disease. The boys will die typically in 12 months. When you picture who the mafia wants, don't picture a 30-year-old woman. Picture these kids. That's exactly who the Russian mafia is looking for. I had a terrible picture there, the way I've got it. But anyway, I had a mother. I was going in. I was being yanked around by a politician. He wanted everybody to know that he was the one bringing help into his city. And a lady came up and said to the politician, "Is this the one that helps orphanages?" He said, yeah. "Can he take one more?" She said, "I'm a prostitute." She was about She said, my daughter's a prostitute. She was about 30. And she had this little girl, younger than that. And she said, we tried her in prostitution, and I quote, she has no taste for it. In other words, she's no good. She has no taste for it. Would you take her? We don't want her. We don't have any place for her. Now that one, there's hope. This next one, I'll get it in a minute. This one, I do want to show that slide, so I'm going to be insistent. All right, help me run. Look at this. And I'll show you what slides go on. You say, it recognizes. Then I went ahead and I got the whole thing on. But anyway, that's a problem. Now, while he's doing that for me, let me explain what I said. I can't stand that. Could y'all? If you knew that 6 out of every 10 girls, when they leave there, go into full-time prostitution, could you stand it? That 7 out of every 10 boys. So I'm a dreamer. I had a doctor from Greenwood, Mississippi, that called me. And he said, Brother Morgan, I've been helping you a little bit in your missions. Yes, certainly appreciate it. What if I gave you a little more money? What would you do with it? I said, he said, now don't do containers. I love the containers, but don't do containers. I was too late for her. Okay? I'll take when I want to move on. Go ahead and move to the next one. I'm just saying I was too late to move from that one. Here's the problem. There's 100,000 orphans there in the 500 orphanages, but they turn them out. If you're brilliant, they'll turn you out when you're 14 years of age. If not, they'll turn you out when you graduate at 16. They turn you out when you turn 18 if you're dumber than a boy, because they have no room for you. Now move to the next one. So not all of those kids obviously get to live there, and we'll move on. When they come in, the mafia comes in, this is what they're facing. They'll say, I'll take you, I'll take you, they'll take all the girls. They'll take all the girls. And they'll take the boys, because they need something. If I do my hand this way, that means I'm ready. So here was the solution I came up with. I said, first of all, the answer is the Bible. If I don't help them to have their souls saved, I'm not really helping them. But then I said, I've got to give them a training. I've got to give them the chance to say to the mafia, I don't have to go with you. Vocational training. And so we teach the Bible. And this girl says, but I want to know more. This girl says, I want to know more. So this is what I said. I will come into your orphanages, and we're going to set up a school. Man, they've got big buildings. The Russian, that's one thing, and Ukrainians did. They built big buildings. And so I said, let's start a beauty shop right here in the orphanage. And this boy is saying, we've got started a barber shop right there in the orphanage. And we're teaching kids to do hair right there in the orphanages. So in this one orphanage, and by the way, look, if you got 200 boys, or 100 boys out of the 200 that's in the orphanage, then they get haircuts at least once a month. And the blue shirt looking like a little monkey is my son-in-law, who's now joined me in the work. And these are the kids. This is who I'm training. So that when the mafia comes, the little boy over there in an orange shirt can cut hair as good as any barber you've got in Calhoun, Georgia. And the girls, they know how to go ahead. The one in the green, she's a teacher. Move on. And I said, let's teach them how to do pedicures, manicures. And so for about, this is a teacher there, teaching them how to go ahead. And they love that. They love that. And this is their kids, of course. And it doesn't cost that much. The little girl in the red plaid was our first graduate from the pedicure manicure school. And she could say to the mafia, I don't have to go with you. Now, we also did computer training. And you know how many computers we throw away in the United States? Enough to fill 1.2 million 18-wheelers of computers that we throw away. But they don't have them. They were training kids with computers. Now, when I go from place to place, now I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to make a confession. I said, Jerry, don't even talk to these people about the possibility of them giving physical goods for the containers because you live too far away. But here I hear that a man, is he from Honduras or is he from somewhere coming up? And if he can come from Honduras up to get goods, maybe we'll talk about it. That's me. So in this school, we're setting up, teaching kids how to do seamstress work, something they can do. And here the kids are learning trades, move on, please. But then we have one orphanage called the Visually Impaired Orphanage. And they said to me, Brother Morgan, my kids can't learn to be carpenters, they cut their fingers off. They can't learn to be seamsters, so they sew their fingers together. But they could be massage therapists. And so this is me, that's my son-in-law, that's Miles, who was born when I was here in a blue cap, and that's me without my hair. And I don't know who the fellow was on the right, but this lady in black had a master's degree in biology, went back and licensed as a massage therapist instructor. So we are teaching these kids how to do clinical massage therapy, so that when they leave, they're licensed by the state. This girl is obviously very visually impaired, so she's having to learn the body by feeling. And we'll see, there she is. Also, or one like her, feeling the internal organs, where she can learn how. These are tables that I bought for them so they can learn how to go ahead and do the massage therapy. And this is structure in the red, teaching the boy how to go ahead. And if I had a better picture, you could see how red his chest is. He's getting a workout there. He's one of the students, and the others are students. We teach them anything that we can to make a living, whether it's to be like a licensed practical nurse, whether it's to teach them carpentry, or how to go ahead and work on a farm, agriculture, the dairy business is big there, chicken business. They said, well, teach us how to go ahead and do like landscaping, like the McIntyres did. And so that's some of the equipment we bought there. And so we're teaching these children anything we can teach them. So they've got a trade. Moving on. And the conversions, that's what we're about. Move on. We're blessed with 2 new congregations as a result of Christ had miracles. And when he did miracles, the people said, tell us about that. That's my grandson Miles with his very first baptism. So I'm so proud of him, and he's doing well, works with me, because I want this work to go on many years after I'm gone. And the coverage, one of the things I do with Eastern European missions, I say, give me every Bible you can give me. And in the state we started out, we placed Bibles in every public school, and they love them. That's some of the Bibles that we had as we were distributing these Bibles. But then the problem, they said, was, Brother Morgan, who's going to teach us? Who's going to teach us? So they said, establish a curriculum. I'm a dreamer. So we have preacher training schools, and the majority of the students are women, I said, and they said, Jerry Morgan, because you've got a doctorate, you can certify Bible instructors for the public schools. We want them. I wish I could tell you that I'm able to do that. This is Anya to my right and your left. She's worked with me since she's 19 years of age, and she's 30 plus years old. Now, move on. You asked a question like, who built the ark? And their children, they can't wait to answer. Containers. This is what takes up my time. We've shipped over 500 picture and 18-wheeler into the Ukraine. I can say that's a container. This past Tuesday, before Thanksgiving, we shipped out a container exactly like that. I've got a farmer there by the name of Shane Eaker, him and his father, Rodney. They furnished this forklift. They furnished their warehouse for this, and have never accepted a penny for their effort. I buy watermelon boxes. Recently bought this. I discovered that my son-in-law, who retired from the University of Mississippi, cannot back a truck and a trailer. And my grandson can't buy back up truck and trailer. These are some of the contents of the things that we send, get in there. Our goal is to ship a container every 2 weeks. What I really need is people that would help in some tiny way to pay for the shipping costs. Now, our team, we get a lot of goods. Every time St. Jude's Hospital buys something new in Memphis, they give me and my partner whatever they're replacing, and we send it there. And so you say, well, that's great work. Yes, it is. But it still costs $3,000 to $5,000 depending on where it's going to get there. So that's our name. I bought this. It's an old Mercedes box truck, but when we get the goods there and put them in that warehouse that I built for them, we built for them, then they get it. You say, is there any danger to this? Not really. Now, the Russians did shoot one of our drivers in the head and kill him, but we had volunteers that said, try me, I think I can do that. And so, collections, again, most of the places I go, I say, give me all your clothing now. We need winter clothing. Right now, they're begging for coats, toys, medical supplies. Most of the kids have never had a toy, ever. Toiletry. That's made in my pretty 2012 King Ranch 250 diesel truck that's needed. It takes that to pull those trailers, especially when they're full. This coming Wednesday night, I'll be at Pocahontas, Arkansas. And trust me, they will make that truck squat to the ground with what they load into it. July the 5th, a lady ran in right to that truck, right where I'm standing. I was driving and didn't help me. But anyway, next slide. Contributions. Obviously, somebody's got to pay for all of this. And Don and I do what? This lady said, this little girl said, Preacher, come, we need this much. Next. And this child says, thank y'all for even listening to this presentation. And the next slide says, we pray for y'all. And they do. They'll say, Brother Morgan, tell us about these people that help. And so this little child says, I do need help. And this little girl says, yep, that's my slide. I'm sorry I did that. I'm the one made her leg look like that because I should have pulled it together. And I think that's the last slide that we have. But she says, yeah, again, that's all the slides that we have. If you'd like to get our monthly, this is Jerry Max Morgan, Ukraine Missions. It goes to Piggott. Congregation at Piggott there oversees the work as they have for 25 years. And it's the same congregation where I was baptized when I was 12. Same congregation I served as a pulpit minister when I left here for 3 years. I've been an elder there twice, so if they don't know me and if they don't trust me, it's their own fault. They've had every opportunity. I went to school with them, in high school with them, grade school with them. Anybody want to ask a question about anything? And I know I kept you here probably longer than you normally would, but anyway.
I do.
Yes.
When they learn all these things, can they make enough money to survive? I mean, when you teach them.
Barely. But their definition of survival, Debbie, is different than our definition of survival. When Don and I moved to Russia, the first apartment we found was a flat. Did not have a bath. Everybody on the same floor of the apartment building used the same bathroom. Everybody used the same kitchen. You see, you just had, and we had a luxurious apartment. We had a bedroom. And the bedroom consisted of, in fact, they put 2 by-4s there and a mattress on top of it, and you could reach out on both sides and touch the wall. But when people would come in and say, oh, Brother Morgan, you have such a beautiful place. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So the answer is they'll live in a one-room flat somewhere, or live with somebody, and they will make out a living. It sure beats prostitution. It sure beats being killed by the mafia. Yes, sir.
I've been over to Donetsk 3 times.
Yes.
My mission work, and I can back up everything you're saying about the needs over there and how destitute a lot of people are and the influence of the mafia. It's really, there is a great need. For the gospel and for charity.
Our team, well, I'm not going to get into politics, has sent more aid in than the United States government. And I know you say, well, theirs was held up. That aid that the U.S. government sends does not go to the common people. Please, when you hear about us sending this, we're not helping the common. Yeah, in a way, we're helping the common people. Please don't misunderstand that. It doesn't go for the people, other than maybe the soldiers will get some benefit, and the politicians will get a lot of benefit. I'm excited to hear that you have done that. I fell in love with the people. The average IQ is 7 points higher than the average person in the States. If you go into their homes and they show you their wealth, it'll be about 6 books. That's what they show you. I was walking down the street once, and I had a translator with me, and a bus went by, and slosh, muddy ice all over us. I said, let's go back to the sanatorium. We weren't staying at a hotel because there was no hotel there. And let's change clothes. You know, you go to your room, check. She said, I have no other clothes. I said, what? She said, I have one outfit. And I wash it every night. I said, well, old Jen or Sherry will go buy you one. She said, where? When Donna and I moved there, we had an option. You either take everything or nothing. We opted for the nothing. We needed a blanket. We looked for 6 months before we found one blanket. I had the money to buy it. Nothing was there. When you go to the grocery store and you want milk, you go up and say, I want milk. And they write a ticket out for milk. Go to the cash register, pay for it, bring the ticket back, say, can I have my milk? Okay. Then you say, oh, I need some bread too. You go over here and say, I want a loaf of bread or 2. And so they'll give you a ticket for the price of that bread. You go back to that same cash register. Nothing on the shelves. Nothing on the shelves. It's better than it was 25 years ago. Much better. Any other questions? Roger.
If we wanted to donate clothes, shoes, or whatever, how would we do that?
Gather it here. And whenever you do it for a period of time, that's what everybody else does. They'll say, we'll gather for 3 weeks, and there's nothing. I need your sheets. I need your towels. I need your washcloths. I need your underwear. I really do, as long as they're clean. Now, we'll look at it, and if you had to wash it, we're probably going to throw it away, but we need it. There's nothing. Use shoes. I put the shoes in a separate watermelon box. There is nothing. I used to be picky on shoes till I gave a man a pair of shoes, and he said, my son will wear these to school tomorrow. I work it tonight, and I'll wear them. He didn't have a pair of shoes. And so I had a different view of shoes after that, okay? So the answer to the question, if the church wouldn't cost you anything other than clean out your closets, then you gather together. If the elders would let you have a room and approve y'all doing this, then you call Jerry. And I'd either come on Wednesday night or during the day. Yeah, I don't have to come during the service. Whatever you. I bring my son-in-law, bring my grandson, we load it up, and we take it. In this case, from here, we take it to Holly Springs, Mississippi. We've got a small, used to be a Dollar General store. But one of the members is letting us use that building. Then we separate it. How it works is, when I've got it ready, and I do have one, I sent one Tuesday, got another one now. Then they go ahead, and I'll call them and say, I've got a container ready. They bring it there, we load it. And then it goes to Memphis, gets on a train. From Memphis goes down to the Gulf and gets on the boat. About 3 weeks later, we see them, and our people are there. We've got a team there that receives it and walks it through there and makes sure it gets there. That's how you're going to do it. So, your responsibility, if you found a place, you gather it. Baby stuff, adult diapers, there is nothing that we do not. Nothing electrical. I want toys, but no. Why? Because they're too clean. And I don't want anything battery operated. I don't want to give a child a battery operated toy, because in 8 hours it's dead. And it's more disappointing. Beanie Babies, yeah, they love Beanie Babies. Anything else? But again, no pressure. I asked for permission to come over here. Johnny and I have a serious business deal going on. Y'all just going to have to wonder about that. And so it's not true that I'm buying J.J. Grizzly back and giving it to him. That's not true. I think it has to do with my office being burned. I remember I went to court and they gave a $16,000 settlement to me, and the judge said, Brother Morgan, you know you'll never see a penny of this. And when the fellow got out for probation, he said $50 a month for about 6 months. Got probation. And I think that's what this is about. I'll know tomorrow when I go. There's a little money there that's got my name on it. But the church had insurance over there. But because, just so you know how things work, because it was my private library and computer at the church, it wasn't covered by the church's policy. You said, didn't you have a home on it? Yeah, but it's not covered because it's at the church. Little Shelley Metters, remember her? She had a confrontation once with an insurance company, and just cute as bug. She said, Brother Morgan, if you didn't know it, you'd think there's in it just for the money. The insurance company. For those who know Shelley, you understand. Okay. Nothing further. I'll close with a prayer. Father, we love you so much, and we love you, children. And Father, this is your work I'm talking about, not mine. I'm just fortunate to be a foot soldier for you. And I want all the credit, all the glory to go to you. And for over there, I want it to go to the church. Father, it's yours. And I thank you. And I thank you for this good congregation. They were so good to me for the 3 years that I was here. And I've got friendships that will be there when we stand side by side in judgment. We'll still be friends and love you. Be with us, Lord. And we love you. In Jesus' name we pray.